What is going on, everybody? It's Bobby Mikolajczak coming from Bobby Mikolajczak Fitness YouTube channel. And today we have a very boring day, to be honest with you guys. It's just one of my rest days today, which honestly, like after everything that I've gone through and said, and no matter how much I say rest days are beneficial, they're literally the most boring days ever. I hate rest days so much. I hate not going to the gym, but they're going to be crucial and very helpful at the end of the day. So quick little story time before we hop into today's video. So the main topic, if you guys can't tell already, is rest days. When I was younger and first starting out with working out ever, in my entire life, first month of ever going to the gym, I think I was I want to say I was 16-ish years old, 15 or 16, somewhere right around there. I never ever for a year straight took a rest day. When I first started, I was doing full body workouts 7 days a week. I'd be in the gym for 3 hours, having no idea what I'm doing, literally going through squats, deads, chest, and I didn't even overhead press back then. I just did shoulder presses. I would do all that into one workout. On top of all of that, I would do accessory work as well. So I'd be inside the gym for about 3 hours. And at first, it was going somewhat pretty good because of the newbie gains. Everybody knows when you first start out in the gym, even if you don't have the most proper nutrition, you're still gonna make gains inside the gym. So after about 6 months of lifting, I then started to realize a bunch of problems that were happening, right? So I realized, for one, that I wasn't making any progress in my major lifts. The weight was not going up like I wanted to. I wasn't progressing. I wasn't doing progressive overload. And I definitely wasn't getting any bigger. Obviously it's not going to happen in a week, but months and months passed, and it just seemed like I was staying at the same. And then after all this was happening, all of a sudden I started getting these weird pains in my forearms and other parts of my body, and it happened to be tendinitis. So overtraining, overworking my forearms, the tendons in my actual arms, everything like that, it actually hurt to do bicep curls. It was pretty insane. Such a young age. I didn't understand really why this was happening. And back then, when I first ever got into it, I always looked up to the big bodybuilders, Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, Phil Heath, Kai Green, the traditional Frank Zane, everything like that. Those, traditional bodybuilders, the aesthetic ones, and you have the bigger ones now, like I said, Phil Heath, Kai Green, Dennis Wolf, and all of them. Anyways, I'd watch their videos and they would hype them up, no off days, train insane. And, I was under this impression that there was no off days to be taken. I didn't ever want to take an off day because off days, were for little bitches, things like that. And I always wanted to train every single day. And I didn't really understand the concept of it, but I did it anyways. So here's the thing. After months and months of this happening, I had to ask myself, what am I doing wrong? Why at such a young age am I having this many problems? Why am I stalling for this long? I really didn't know what was happening. So that's when I started. This is the time in my life where I really started every single night reading articles, reading, scientific studies, other people on YouTube, their advice, everything like that, taking this all into consideration about what is happening to my body, how the body works, and everything like that. So to keep things kind of short, simple, and sweet, basically I came across the conclusion that I need rest days, right? The body needs to recover. Basically, the way that your body works, pretty much everybody knows this, but for those of you who don't, I'll kind of go over it for you. So essentially, inside, let's just say the bicep and every other muscle in your body, you have fibers. Once you break those fibers down, you're going to break them down to a certain point, and then they're going to rebuild. That rebuilding point is when they get stronger and they get bigger, because you're breaking them down and they have to adapt to it. So what are they going to do? Get bigger. So essentially, I was training as hard as I can go every single day, basically till failure, and just going past that, doing 30, 35 sets of biceps is just so unnecessary. And I wasn't allowing that time for that point to come back, build, grow, and get stronger and recover. And basically, having those rest days is what's going to make that happen. And I wasn't doing that. So I came across the conclusion that I needed rest days. So fast forward about 3 months later on, and I was starting to take the advice of actually having rest days. To be honest with you guys, it was a huge mental thing. I remember taking rest days and I was just so mad that I couldn't go to the gym. I literally wanted to go to the gym. In fact, I think the first 3 weeks of taking a mandatory rest day once per week, I literally ended up going to the gym. That's just how bad I wanted to go. And even on my off day, I still was doing cardio. And even at that point, I would say not even to do cardio. But I'll get into that in a couple minutes. But anyways, guys, that's kind of just my story and how rest days helped me along the way. So after all that happened, the rest days obviously started to work. I started to progress in the gym, and it was more beneficial in the long run, and definitely I owe a lot of my strength gains and muscle gains to rest days. So I feel like rest is like one of the most overlooked things in as far as bodybuilding is concerned. People overlook rest days so much and they don't care about them, and it's actually doing more harm than good. Having a rest day basically allows your body to repair, and not only that physically but mentally as well. Getting into that standpoint that the gym is not everything in the entire world, and you can go out there and you can have fun with your friends and everything like that and enjoy an actual rest day was a huge mental thing for me too, and it improved my mental strength inside of the gym as well. So that was another thing that came out of rest day. Basically, I was rebuilding a lot more stronger physically and mentally. So I get a lot of common questions from a lot of people as far as what to do on rest days, how to approach them, how often, and a lot of questions revolving pretty much around the same topic as what do we do on rest days and what could I do to make the most beneficial rest day as possible. And I basically narrowed it down to 3 questions that I get the most often. Is how often should we have a rest day? Do we basically eat less on our rest days if, say, we're bulking or cutting because we're not going to the gym, we're not burning as many calories? And 3, should I even do cardio on those off days? So for one, we'll go ahead and start off with the calories. A good rule of thumb on my off days is essentially I subtract 50 carbohydrates. In essence, there's 4 calories per 1 gram of carbohydrate, so if you do the math, that's 200 calories. For me, that's just a good rule of thumb. That way I'm still getting in carbs, even though I'm already taking away 50. I'm still gonna have carbs left over to restore my glycogen and go into the next day's workout full of glycogen, full of energy, and make sure I kill next day's workout. So being in a little bit more of a small caloric deficit, I feel like is more beneficial for me. Some people just honestly keep their calories the same, which is something I would also recommend. That way you're not making adjustments to your diet and you're not confusing yourself in the long run. A lot of people think there's like this 24-hour time span as far as your lifts, and that's such a small portion of your actual lifting. You need to think big picture terms. So like weeks, months, and even years. One 24-hour period or a 12-hour period of day of eating, you're not going to affect your body that much if you have those extra 200 calories or you don't subtract your calories just because you're not working out. I just find that being in a small deficit because I'm not working out, because I'm not doing any cardio or lifting, that just assures I'm keeping the most optimal fat loss as possible. Another question I get a lot is how many rest days should we take per week? And honestly, this has a lot to do with your genetics, the type of person you are, your training style, how you're training, powerlifting, power building, everything like that, and how often you're working out, how long your workouts are. There's a lot of variables that come into play. A good rule of thumb for me is about a day. That's just judging on my genetics, what I do, my workouts, my cardio routine, and honestly, I've been taking a day. I've tried 2 days before, and I didn't see any more benefits than just a 1 day. For me, I feel like my body can recuperate and recover and have the most optimal results from just 1 day. Some people take actually the whole weekends off, so Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Some people do 2 days. Honestly, my best advice is just to experiment with it. I would say no longer than 3 days and at least 1 day. So about 1 to 3 days, I would take rest days per week. Last but not least, another question that I get a lot as well is should I do cardio on my off days? Now, beforehand, I was doing, like I said, cardio on my off days. But if you think about it this way, when you do cardio, you're obviously using your legs, whether it's the treadmill, the Stairmaster, running, whatever it is, you're breaking down those leg fibers, the fibers inside of your legs. So let's say I have squats on a Sunday and I take an off day on a Monday. Essentially, I'm not letting my body fully recover from those squats, those fibers inside my legs, because I'm breaking them down even more on doing cardios. So at that point, honestly, I would say this. Just take a damn off day. Seriously, just take a rest day. Have some fun with it, relax. It's like I said, mentally and physically relax on the gym. Don't even go inside of there. Still, just track your food, have a little bit of fun with it and everything like that. You don't need to always go into the gym every single day. Yes, cardio is good for burning a couple more calories, but if we just those calories, like I said, 250 grams of carbs, that's 200 calories. If we adjust that, that will pretty much make up for it, because if you think about it, usually a lot of people do just 300 calories worth of cardio anyways. Anyways, guys, hopefully this answered your guys' questions as far as rest days and what I do and what you guys can do as well. Like I said, today was my rest day. We're honestly I relaxed around the house. Me and Sam are about to go get some Chipotle right now. I'm going to get a burrito bowl, of course, and then I'll catch up with you guys in pretty much 3 or 4 days or so. That's when we start doing the other 3 to 4 videos per week as well. I have some awesome content coming for you guys as well too. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next video.